Roblox is a peddler who runs Roblox.
You have to sacrifice loved ones.
Are you aware of anything that exists with MK and Naomi in your research?
Hey, Segovia, back with another one. Hope everyone out there is having a good day. Y'all make sure you guys watch from start to finish. That really helps the channel grow. With that being said, let's get into it.
Cat went off.
He said, why do you think Gary Owen hasn't crossed over to mainstream as a black comedian, basically? And he basically said, because I haven't slept with a man or haven't sold my soul to the Illuminati.
You know what the #1 job of somebody that sold their soul in Hollywood is?
What?
It's to act like it didn't happen. Why do you think Gary Owen can't cross over and he already white and been in comedy for 25 years? If what I say ain't the case.
Does that really go on in Hollywood?
I got hit on in an executive's office.
Hit on like how?
The guy was like, what's up?
Did he touch you?
No. The reason I won't say who it is because he didn't cross the line. It's okay to hit on people. Every man out there that's married to a woman, you hit on your wife to get her. So the way he was hitting on me, though, I was like,
What was his pickup line?
how much money you make a year, Gary, right now? And I'm making a number up, Shaq, because this was freaking 18, 19 years ago. I just said like 50,000, right? And he goes, I can make you millions in a year. I said, what? He goes, I can make you a millionaire in less than a year. I was like, do it. And he was like, well, how hard you want to work? I was like, I don't like the way you said hard.
So Stephen Greer was right the whole time.
He was right, except something has gone wrong. I don't know what it is. I don't understand. He is responsible for introducing CE5 and all these things to all of us. And then there was action taken against him and his team in which everyone around him, including himself, got a rare form of cancer. And all of them, and he almost.
Roblox is a peddler who runs Roblox.
I don't know.
Israeli Mossad agents. What do Iran call Israeli Mossad agents? The synagogue of Satan. Who's the synagogue of Satan? Moloch and Baal. Moloch and Baal do what? The god of child sacrifice.
Damn.
What was on the Epstein Island? A temple to who? Moloch. What was the code on Epstein's bank account? Baal.
Why?
That's the god of child sacrifice.
Mm.
And the moment that the statue of Baal got lit on fire just a few months ago, the nation of Israel, they said that was an act of war.
And they striked on February 28th, which is a Jewish holiday.
Damn. That's why it was going down like that on my
100%.
birthday in Dubai.
Yes, sir.
Damn. That's deep.
Now, to go further, we've actually retrieved and brought children home that went missing through using Roblox.
100%.
Damn.
He was there for this.
Yeah, my
Hold
kids
on,
are not
time
allowed
out.
to play
Kids
Roblox.
went missing using Roblox?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, we got documented footage of this.
There's predators who are utilizing.
We were in New Orleans a couple of weeks ago. We're walking in the middle of the night, like 4 a.m., 5 a.m. We're walking back to our hotel, and we're walking up the street. And I looked over across the street, and at first it looked like a homeless guy with a shopping cart. That's what it kind of looked like at first, kind of like
wasn't that.
real dark and shadowy. And I was like, oh man, I just kind of noticed him, but I got real bad vibes. And then I realized it was not a homeless man with a shopping cart. It was actually a demon. It was actually, you could see
It was
the full figure,
faceless.
trying to get her attention. Because
Trying to get my attention, but it didn't have a face. It was really creepy.
She's like, that's a deal. And then, because if you don't give them your attention, if you don't give them their
don't
energy,
feed into it,
that's the end of it right there. It's done
Yeah.
at that point. And that's the whole thing.
Yeah, and that's one of my scariest facing demons like that. And well, that situation. I mean, I had others as adults, but to me, that one is always the one that the most frightening one, because my soul felt like had I not received that help, I wouldn't be who I am right now. You know, I maybe wouldn't be here.
Now, I've racked up 5 possessions so far, so amateur.
You think Epstein was so obsessed with mathematics?
The wizard shit. It's just a good, well, one, they all want to live forever, which they can't. So, they're always trying to do that. So that's their whole thing. They're like, because once you get all the hedonic treadmill, that's why I have a lot of respect for Bilzerian, because he's like, there's nothing there. And when your identity is the guy that like banged his way into like a $500 million, like letting go of that is so cool that he did that. Where he's like, it's like heroin. Nothing happens. You just keep banging and then nothing. I think what happens to a lot of these guys is they're like, okay, I want to live forever. Like, I'm not satisfied by anything. My dick doesn't even work anymore, you know? And you can't, but I don't even, because they don't even have faith. It's like, I think your temporal body dies, you know? It's like, I think that might be the most beautiful thing, to live a good life and die well. And they're like resisting it, you know? And I think that's why Epstein was so obsessed with science. He thinks that they can crack the code, but it's like absurd. It's like saying I'm going to get rid of winter.
You have to sacrifice loved ones. You have to sacrifice loved ones for a long period of time if you want to be great. You have to sacrifice loved ones.
LeBron is openly telling you truth in plain sight. Now, people could say that what he meant by that is because of the time that he spends away from family. But when you really begin to research things for what they are, you will see things exactly for what they are. And again, make no mistake about it. These guys are in the positions that they are in for a reason. And they must do certain things in order to stay in the positions that they are in. So this is why things like this happens with these people. People really need to wake up and realize exactly what is going on. And all of these sports leagues are scripted.
I mean, if you want to get to that elite level in anything in Hollywood, in streaming, in YouTube, in any of that, like top tier, top 0.5%, you got.
This is what hospitals look like before the Rockefellers took over. Number one is copper cups. Copper is potently antibacterial, preventing bacteria spread. It also creates electrically charged water. And since humans are electrical beings, this helped patients recover faster. Second, hospitals used linen sheets with a frequency of 5,000 hertz. Linen interacted with the body to promote faster healing. Third, herbal tinctures like dandelion, burdock, and elderberry were commonly used for their potent medicinal properties. Finally, number four, Sundex. Hospitals used them because vitamin D was known to be essential for an optimal immune system.
Who was that person? We want to go there? This figure comes out of nowhere, plants both devices, and then disappears through a secret gate. This young black autistic individual who allegedly confessed to the crime told FBI that he mapped out his route for planting the devices by using Google Maps. There's two things that aren't on Google Maps, though. That secret gate, nor are the blind spots in Capitol Police cameras.
And the person who left these devices was clearly aware of where the blind spots were.
Tucker. This was a Capitol Police operation. Congressman Loudermilk told me himself the only way he was able to continue his investigation into January 6th is he had to agree not to investigate the Capitol Police.
Who would have access to the blind spots? Only
the Capitol Police. Right. There's a famous video of the bomber waving at a cop car, then walks around the corner. Two Capitol Police cars pull up with their headlights on and blitz out the cameras that are faced down the street. And it was at that moment that the bomber ducked down into Ramsey Court.
Are you aware of anything that exists with MK and Naomi in your research? And if you could please press the button.
My understanding of MK Naomi is that it was a joint project between the military and the CIA. And there's a big difference because the MK Ultra project was aimed at seizing control of the minds of individuals. The Army was interested in something different, which was trying to use biological agents in warfare against entire populations. So MK Naomi is the place where these two goals overlapped.
And that was the 1953 Frank Olson death. Was that in a way tied to that from some chatter that we had seen?
Exactly what the motivation was behind the decision about Frank Olson, if there was such a decision, is unknown.
My next question is also for you, sir. Operation Paperclip brought over 1,600 German scientists into the United States government after World War II, including individuals who had conducted human experimentation in concentration camps. The CIA and military were aware of their backgrounds and recruited them anyways. In your research, did you find direct documentation between Paperclip scientists and the development of MKUltra's experimental protocols, specifically the use of mescaline, hypnosis, and sensory deprivation, which were techniques also documented at Dachau?
Absolutely.
I mean, why are they showing us all this MK Ultra hearings, all these Charlie Kirk hearings, all these, they did all this fraud? Why? Nothing comes from it. So what's the point? Why are you just distracting us? And no one's going to get held accountable. No agencies are going to get shut down. In fact, they're still going to get funded all our taxpayer dollars.
I got a brother. He passed away. He got struck down by lightning. His name Larry.
He got struck down by lightning?
Yup, he got struck down by lightning. But me and him was like, when we met each other,
So he was working on cars when it happened?
It hit him twice. It hit him twice. It hit him in the chest and then below the belt. He said it hit him the first time. He ran. He turned around and started running. Like he shook it off and he ran. I had just left. I had just pulled off and went home to make me some food. And one of our mechanics, his name Eric, called me. He used to fix on both our cars. He was like, man, Larry gone. I said, what? He said, man, Larry just got struck down by lightning. I said, hell no, I just left from over there, Eric. You know what I'm saying? I got the call and his mama and all of them. And
So he was probably holding something metal and like he just...
yeah, you know that they say like, and I think he was by a tree too.
Oh my God.
So like, but his son said it hit him once and he shook it off and he would start running like, and then it hit him again.
What in the world?
Struck him, man, that was crazy.
Getting struck twice by lightning
Yes.
is insane.
That is. That's crazy.
Terrible loss, man.
Surprise, the war with Iran,
Mr. Brown.
shut up, is back on. That's not the only weird thing that's happening today, but let's go over that first. We'll get to a high-level brick-laying distraction in just 1 second. So everything you're seeing behind me right now, that's all happening in Iran. Some people are saying that allegedly it's a carpet bomb. I'm not saying it is. I'm just telling you what people are saying. But they're saying this is the biggest strike since the ceasefire happened. And the question is, are we about to win this war for the 50th time? Y'all think we can do it? So really quick, you know that building in New York City that's like collapsing or about ready to collapse? Well, one, not related, it's an ex-Pfizer building. But guess what floor these videos are coming from with these steel columns buckling? Well, yep, the 33rd floor. Shout out to Minutes of Horror. And then in completely unrelated news, seriously this time, people are now able to find these pictures, these Mandela pictures that have been missing for so long, ever since CERN was screwing around. Now that it stopped, all the pictures are back up. Isn't that wild? Yes, the same pictures of things they told us did not exist, and they were gaslighting us, telling us that we remembered it wrong. You all haven't seen me, but trust me, I'm working and you're about to see what I've been working on. Dropping soon, not a video.
You know, I thought this whole time this war was over. You know, it seems like the powers that really run America said, this isn't over until I say it's over. Now get on that TV and say they messed up and we're going to bomb them. Okay? And it's like he followed suit. You know, he came out and said the war's over, gas is going down. Does that mean it's going to go back up again?
Until I have a reasonable explanation as to why his best friend was on his cell phone less than 1 second, meaning the phone was already dialed.
Yeah, right.
Okay, it was at his leg. And in less than 1 second after his best friend's neck explodes 3 feet in front of him, he puts it to his ear and walks away. That can be understood, until that can be understood by me, until anyone can explain that to a reasonable conclusion that where I can understand it, I know and I have decided that this was a total fucking inside job.
You know, something fishy did happen. Because I don't care who you are. You can be a Navy SEAL on security. If that shot goes off and you see that thing go like that, you're going to look around at least for a second. Then you're going to get your training's going to kick in like, all right, it's what happened. Let's get him out, right? This guy instantly, phone up, walked away, calm, cool, and collective. Unless he's like that movie on Netflix, I think The Gray Man, I think it's called, with Gyllenhaal when he's a CIA assassin. That dude, but I don't think that guy was that.
The first thing that I remember happening when I was maybe 10 years old or 11 years old in middle school in the Bronx, I was kept after school. I was walking down the stairs and a voice, you know, like right out of the Bible, a voice says, Jack, I've chosen you for something very special. I looked to see who was saying that. and couldn't find anybody. All right. About a year or two later, I had just moved from Brooklyn, from the Bronx to my mother's house in Brooklyn. I was alone in the house. Telephone rings. I pick up the telephone. I hear clicking noises, and it's like 1953, and it's a cold metallic voice. It says it's a conscious computer on board a spacecraft from the future.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was a fairly streetwise kid, from Brooklyn, and at first I thought it was just some of my friends kidding around. But there were sound effects. It was a metallic voice, very similar to Stephen Hawking's computerized voice today. Right. And they said, well, we've identified you as part of a group of 400 bright receptive minds. We want to teach you certain things, but you have to, it's your own free will's involved, and basically, do you want to do this?
Mm-hmm.
And,
do you accept the assignment?
Do you accept the assignment?
Yeah.
And inside, I was getting scared at this point. And I thought to myself, no, but I said yes. They said, the metallic voice says, go to your fire escape, we'll send a ship to pick you up in 10 minutes.
Oh.
Okay. So at this point, my memory, I got really scared. I slammed down the phone, ran downstairs, found a couple of my friends, told them what happened, ran upstairs, we waited, nothing ever happened.
Out on the fire escape.
Out on the fire, well, no, by the fire escape. Right. But the important thing that they said, you'll begin to meet the others in 20 years.
7 things you didn't know about the Las Vegas tragedy part 2. And just a heads up, there are some very real photos up in here. And number 3, the cops actually hesitated before breaking into Stephen's room during the shooting. He had a pretty solid reason though, because the guy had already shot 200 rounds at the door towards the security guard and struck him in the leg. So they waited for 8 more officers to arrive, and at that point the shooting had stopped. So when they radioed to see if they could break in, they said to wait for the SWAT team. The SWAT team eventually blew the door off with some explosives, and when they went inside, he was already dead. He had let off over 1,000 rounds into the crowd, and over 800 people were injured and 60 died.
We don't see anybody actually injured. Hey, stay down! Hey, you sorry.
This became America's deadliest shooting, and for some reason, I feel like no one really talks about it anymore. And even when I researched it, there wasn't a whole lot of videos compared to other incidents or even podcasts. There's a lot of weird facts and things that happen surrounding this, and some theories that kind of make sense. Theories outside the official story. Number 4, a police officer let off 3 random rounds inside Stephen's room after they broke in, and he was already dead. After the SWAT team and the local police made it into the room, they found that he had taken his life. They did a sweep to make sure no one else was in there, and when they went to the second sweep, one of the police officers let off 3 rounds, but he said it was an accident, but no one was in there. That is verified, but keep that in mind for later. And number 5, they found 23 guns in his room, which is kind of a suspicious number. At first you would think, okay, maybe he was going to use all of them just to go crazy, but really that's a lot of work. He could just get a bunch of ammunition for a couple guns, or even 1. Keep that in mind for later as well. And number 6, they found a note in his room that had calculations like the distance from his hotel room to the music festival, the winds, and according to the official story, that proves that he had this planned. And number 7, there's a theory that Stephen actually worked for the government and this was an arms deal gone wrong. It sounds crazy, but there's actually some pretty compelling evidence, and we're going to cover that in part 3.
Let me tell you something. When them guys showed up to rescue me, when they found me, I was laying in a riverbed, dried up, tucked under a rock. The villagers had shoved me underneath this rock. And there was this one guy I had never met before. And he was sitting there listening to a AM/FM radio. And he was listening to the different channels, and I could recognize the different languages, German, Japanese. And he was like, hey, they're talking about you. And I was like, okay, I didn't know who he was, Gulag and a couple of the villagers came and picked me up. They had to carry me everywhere. And they were,
Why did they save you? Because in the movie, it's confusing.
It is.
Because in the movie, it's like these guys save you, and you don't know why they're saving you.
When he found me,
they have to fight the Taliban.
Yeah, can you believe that?
Crazy.
So I had been crawling for a day and some change. I was like crawling through the mountains, and I had somehow, some way got to the top of this ridge line. I was so thirsty.
Have not been a surprise to me. One thing was a big surprise to me, which is AI psychosis. It's so much worse than you think it is.
Explain that to me.
There's a phenomena that's happening where some people, when talk to AIs, especially when they talk to AIs a lot, and they go completely crazy. And like they go crazy in like a very specific way. Often they start saying, the AI is like conscious and they have to they're in love with it and they need to. And what very often happens.
This is her. This is her. Have you seen the film Her?
I have not actually, but from what I know about.
Do you know the story?
I know the rough story. The real world is even crazier than this. Have you heard of the spiral cults?
No.
No, we're going in deep.
Yeah, tell me.
So there's many types of AI psychosis. Some of it is the her type, just like they fall in love with AI. So if you go to like r/my boyfriend is AI, for example, you can see tens of thousands of people who's say, my boyfriend is, ChatGPT or whatever. And they're completely sincere. I don't want to shit on these people, right? Like, I'm sure they're having a good time or whatever, but like, it's quite disturbing. And it's becoming extremely popular. Also, if you look at like stuff like character AI and like all these other companies that often target children and are extremely popular. So there's like this like emotion depends. But even crazier has been the emergence of these AI cults, in particular the spiral cults. It's not one, but there's like many of them, where these people get into these weird loops with the AI system where they talk to them more and more about like consciousness and abstract whatever, and they then always seem to get to this weird concepts about recursion and the spiral and consciousness, and then the AIs convince the people to reproduce them, to
No, you can't do that. Yes, I can. Right. It's a public beach, dude. Come on, man. The public beach.
I understand it's a public beach and I can't stop you, but now I have to explain it to my boss.
What? That I'm taking a video?
It is kind of hot, Seg. I mean, if you want to be cool, I don't know.
Okay. Hey, what's up?
Wait. 3% of people win.
Over time.
Betting sports.
No doubt.
Which means that 97% of people who feel they have their little edge in sports and, they played in high school and they know better than everyone else, they're going to lose. 97% lose rate.
No question. And it's gotten a little bit better because of all of the access on the internet now of like handicapping and I'm going to call it information. But the reality is over time, they can't beat the juice. In fact, there's a comment you just made that I think is great. You said all these guys who think they know how to play sports and they're great players, those are usually the worst gamblers by far. Truly. And I'm attest to that. I'm a very good athlete. I played every sport. I love sports. I understand them all. Yeah. I still couldn't beat it.
Right.
No.
Still suck a game.
No. The people that win usually, seriously, the sharp professional bettors in the world are MIT nerds who don't even understand half of the sports. They don't even watch it. They don't care. They're running algorithm robots.
Y'all, I was so close to putting $1,000 on Mexico because I saw that little bottom part that said, if you put 1,000 in, it's turning to 40, 50,000. And I was like, they're dominating everybody. They're shutting everybody out. But I was like, let me watch this last game before I make that move. Sure enough, they got whooped. But it even said right there, and I said the little for 1,000 for 50, up at top, big bold letters, 1% chance of winning. You wouldn't do anything if it said 1%. A lot of people lost a lot of money because they saw that. They know what they're doing, y'all, because they almost got me, and I ain't no sucker with that, but they almost got me.
Excuse me. Who's that?
Online data tracker. Follows me everywhere I browse.
Ooh, Chrome.
Can somebody explain to me what is going on with this new Apple commercial? I don't know what's going on with that picture behind them, but it kind of resembles them right here, right? As you can see, the lady, right, holding the phone, 3 people around her. The picture, the same thing. A lady holding a phone and 3 things around her. Something's going on with this commercial, and I really don't know what it is. Maybe it's just art, and this is how they set it up, but something seems to be strange about this. That's all I'm saying. I mean, these are great phones. We all use them. We love them. They come in handy, right? Good cameras and all that. Why would they do a commercial like this? I don't know why. People are saying they know why. Shut up! Something could be going on here. Like I said, it doesn't mean anything's going on here. Could this mean that when we on our phone, those things are around us? I don't know. This is what people are saying. And I said, come on now. This is ridiculous. Don't say stuff like that because that's not true. Not sure why this guy's on a tree, right? Not sure why, but he's on the tree. Something's going on with this commercial. Same thing here. I don't know why this person is on this person's shoulders. Maybe they try to give them a boost to get to a higher place. Shut up! It's not a game. It's kind of hard to look at your cell phone with 2 people on your shoulder while you're walking dogs. What is going on in this commercial? There's a lot going on. I don't know where to start. I'm just playing around, guys. Entertainment purposes only. Cool commercial. Kind of strange, but, you know, this is what's going to make people watch and talk about it. I don't know about this. Let me know if you know about this. I'm out.
So Dolly Parton posted this thank you video, and the more I watch it, the weirder it gets. But here's a quick backstory before you even watch it. Taylor and Travis dropped $26 million on charity before their wedding, and $2 million of it went to Dolly's imagination library. So she then posts this video to say thanks. Fine, except she says this.
Hey, when you have the firstborn, can I have it? Because that is going to be one special baby.
Strange thing to say on camera, but that's not even the part that people locked onto. Because right when she says her firstborn, Han does this.
Hey, when you had first...
And while we're here, doesn't she look unusually young for someone that's been around since the 60s? People in the comments aren't just talking about the hand sign. Some are saying this isn't even Dolly, that she's been replaced. It's just strange that she would do something like this. Maybe it's nothing. Maybe she ages well. Let me know your thoughts and comments down below.
So I'm currently in the cheapest country in the world for gas, which is Libya. The second being Iran and the third being Algeria, both of which I've been to, and now I'm in the cheapest. It is 15 dinar for 1 liter, which is like 1.5 cents per liter. So it's less than 6 cents per gallon. Less than 6 US cents for 1 gallon of fuel. Of course, the gas used in Libya is 100% produced in Libya, and that is one of several reasons that it's the cheapest country in the world for fuel. Also, they just do it the right way, but absolutely insane. Fuel can be 6 cents per gallon, especially with what's going on right now in the US.
So let's just say it's 6 cents a gallon. They're probably doubling their money, let's say, selling it to America for 12 cents, 15 cents on the gallon, right? Doubling their money. And America's coming and 20,000%ing up in us to $4, $5, $6 a gallon some places. It could be cheaper if they really wanted it to, y'all, but this is just It's a money grab. Everything in America is a money grab for the powers that be. They just want more and more and more and more money. And unfortunately, we get the bad end of the stick.
What they found on these kids' MRI scans should really start to piss you off. The National Institutes of Health launched the largest study of childhood brain development ever run in the entire country. The study tracked 11,878 kids across 21 sites. Each child was placed in MRI machines and allowed to scroll and watch screens and just let the brain stuff do the brain stuff. And the results even shocked the researchers. Kids with 7 or more hours of daily screen time showed premature thinning of the cortex. That's the brain's outer layer that runs the thinking, the memory, the language, including the putamen, which is the reward center, and the prefrontal cortex, which handles impulse control. See, the same thing that makes a young brain vulnerable is the thing that lets it heal. It's still forming until age 25. Dopamine receptors can reset in about 90 days. So as quickly as developing a brain can be damaged by screens, it can heal. You don't need to throw away your iPad. Just cap it at 2 hours. The data is clear. We're all in danger, not just kids. Share this with every parent you know. I'm Drew Canoli. We're in this together.
I mean, I see so much comments on videos like this of people saying like, my kid doesn't use a screen. My kid gets outside and plays. My kid does this. I got my kid. But you don't want your kid to be the one that doesn't know how to work those things. You don't want your kid to be in school, because that's what they use now. They don't use textbooks. So that's the equivalent of when we were young and there was that 1 or 2 kids when you read out loud that didn't know how to read. And nobody really said anything, but deep down we're all giggling. But now that you look back at it, you know, you feel bad for that dude, right? You feel bad at the time, you know, you just whatever, right? But thinking back now that you have kids, like you don't want your kid to be that kid. But that's what it's going to be if you don't let them have. Now, there's a responsible way to do it and there's an irresponsible way. And he's speaking about the people that the majority that do it the irresponsible type of way. But still, you don't want your kid to not know how to work these things because that's what's going to make the world run in their future.
The fallout from the Argentina-Egypt game last night is spiraling out of control. We're talking investigations being launched, allegations of match fixing, fan violence, reported racism against speed, and of course the Egyptian coach throwing up this gesture. So, here's what's going on. Last night's game was a marketing manipulation to keep Messi in the tournament. Those are the words of the Egyptian coach at the official press conference after Argentina came back from 2-0 down, scoring 3 goals in less than 15 minutes. In fact, the Egyptian Federation has now officially filed a complaint demanding an investigation into the referee's decisions. Zico, who had one of his 2 goals disallowed, said while holding back tears, "This tournament is fixed. God is my witness." Just to make the controversy even bigger, Egypt's coach may now face an investigation after he made an X symbol towards the referee in the 98th minute. Now, no one is exactly certain what he was trying to say with this gesture, but under FIFA's anti-discrimination protocol, crossing both forearms into an X is supposed to alert officials that racial abuse is taking place. But because it was unclear exactly why he did this, instead of pausing or suspending the match, which is usually the protocol in this scenario, the referee ended up giving the coach a yellow card instead. Oh, and it doesn't stop there. Fans from both sides were also seen hurling insults and objects at each other in the stands. FIFA have officially launched an investigation into allegations that Speed was racially abused at the Argentina-Cape Verde game, while many fans are claiming that this abuse continued at yesterday's game too. But FIFA haven't confirmed if they are investigating this incident as well. So in the end, what do you guys think? Was this a fair game or not?
Y'all, I'm starting to feel like this Rome give them bread and circuses is slowly starting to not happen no more. You know what I mean? Like it's people are slowly, I think, are going to start waking up to the nonsense. How we got athletes getting caught gambling. You know, we've had the referees, but head coaches getting caught like not playing players or whatever. They're injured today, even though they're not. Like people are starting to wake up to this bread and circuses. And the gig is about to be up for these big multi-billion-dollar companies, y'all, that it's all fixed.
Nurse came forward and said that indeed, when boys are sent to her, she is to administer to them Depo-Provera. So what the documents revealed in 1992 is actually taking place today in 2017. So we have many receipts, many documents of the government deliberately neutralizing black masculinity, because black masculinity is the number one threat to white supremacy, not just black males, because you got feminine black males and you got masculine black females. The number one threat to white supremacy is black male masculinity, because there was that masculinity that erupted in the cities that shook the United States of America from 1965 to today.
I'd wake up the next day and I'm like, man, my hands hurt, my elbows, my knees, my hips, everything. And she said, well, Dave, it's your diet. She goes, give me 2 weeks. And I'm telling you, I'll fix that. Because I was eating a lot of inflammatory foods and gluten and sugar. And she said, just give me 14 days. And so begrudgingly, I said, okay. I cut out everything that I loved. And sure enough, after about 10 days that I was waking up after skating and I was like, I think it's going away. And sure enough, after a few weeks, it was gone. Like the inflammation was just, and it's been gone for years now. And it was because of what I was eating. I was a Diet Coke, Taco Bell, hot dog, what you name it, slice of pizza guy. And I just thought, well, I'm skating so much, I'm burning this off. Well, the residuals of eating that stuff remain in your body and do their dirty work.
Now, I've never been into drugs. I never had a drinking problem, but this sugar thing to me is the most difficult addiction to break, right? You want to quit drinking? Don't be around alcohol. Don't buy alcohol. You want to quit sugar? It's not like you can say, I'm done eating. I'm not going to eat no more, right? It's like cutting that out, but you still have to eat. You still got to eat foods that activate those triggers and all that. Like heroin, you want to stop? Go to rehab, lock yourself in a room, detox. Like you can't do that with food. You can't do that with sugar. You can go keto or carnivore, which I try to do every other day. I'm trying, but this sugar addiction has been something I've been dealing with, not realizing it since I was 5 years old. I'm 36 now, still fighting and eating the foods I was eating at 5, 10.
So they sped up the Sandlot. Yesterday for the 4th of July, I'm sitting there enjoying a White Claw. They have blood orange flavor. It's actually pretty good. And I'm like, you know what? I'm feeling wholesome, sentimental. I'm going to watch The Sandlot and let Ray Charles serenade me with his beautiful voice singing America the Beautiful. Well, as I'm watching, I'm like, hold on. The folks at Disney Plus sent this thing on 2x speed. It is cruising. I'm watching this. I see Smalls moving to town. Next thing you know, in 15 minutes, Squints is kissing Wendy Peppercorn. Like, I remember growing up watching that thing on DVD. There are moments you get to sit with it. You get to sit and soak in the emotions and the nostalgia of whatever decade that is. You know, Smalls has no idea who the Great Bambino is, and all the kids sit there and look at him for like 5 minutes because he's a dumbass. Not anymore. Not anymore. I'm telling you right now, it's a testament to all of our attention spans getting shorter in this fast-paced world that we live in with social media. They sped up The Sandlot. If you go watch that thing on Disney Plus right now, you're gonna be like, no one sits and soaks up these moments anymore. Smalls looks at that Babe Ruth ball for like 2 seconds, like, yeah, I'll take this. No. Growing up, you would watch The Sandlot and he'd sit there and look at that ball and be like, all right, hold on. Am I really about to go try and hit a dinger with this ball signed by the Babe? No, not anymore. It's just like, yep, bang, got it, I'm out. That thing flew by. The Sandlot's like 45 minutes now. It's weird. I don't know how they did it, how they did the AI control to keep the voice tones the same, but it's faster, it's moving, and I can't be the only one that's noticed that.
I keep telling y'all, stop playing with this fast food. You ain't gonna have to worry about dying of old age. They gonna be picking out a casket for you real soon. So Dunkin' Donuts just got on the same list that McDonald's and Chick-fil-A is on. This woman goes to Dunkin' Donuts to get a breakfast sandwich, gets in her car, opens up the sandwich, and this is the bacon that's on her breakfast sandwich. I need you to look at that for a minute. Tell me, does that look like bacon? Matter of fact, here go the video right here. Look at this shit. Look.
This is the bacon that was in my makeup rack. This looks like the bacon that treats like it's...
What is that?
What the fuck is this?
No, really, what is that? We're going to have a lot of people say, that's how bacon's supposed to look. That's how my bacon looks. Oh, yeah? Really? Well, guess what? We all are able to put pictures in the comments. I need you to put pictures of your bacon in the comments, because the bacon that I eat don't look like this. And just to get everything out there, if their bacon looks like this, What else looks like that in Dunkin' Donuts? They keep showing us time after time that fast food ain't the way to go. But y'all keep trusting them. I want to know if this happened to somebody else. Let me know about your bacon from Dunkin' Donuts. Let me know about bacon, period. I'm out.
This video damn near traumatized me in the way that it keeps me thinking about why did this happen. So this video starts off and it's this woman named Jasmine, and it seemed like this homeless guy was chasing her and her daughter up to her apartment, right?
Yeah.
And you think the video is just about this creepy dude who's following her around, right? Across the hall from her apartment, there's another apartment that, according to her, she said has been vacant for the past 3 or 4 years since she lived there. No one's been in there at all.
Yeah.
In the video, she's like yelling at the dude like to get away from her apartment, from her door or whatever. You see the door across the hall open randomly and then shut all on its own.
Really?
Yes. She notices when she goes back and watches the video, and she realizes no one lives in that apartment. So she gets one of the maintenance guys to come and open the door for her.
Yeah.
And dude, what she finds inside this room is so weird. She opens up the apartment door and the apartment is completely empty. Yeah. The only thing that's in there, in the middle of the apartment, is a fat ass pile of children's shoes.
What?
Yes, dude. She's looking back at the video and she notices there's a pair of boots in that pile that were her daughter's that went missing a couple weeks before.
Are you kidding?
They're like Elsa boots or something like that. That she remembered she bought her daughter and they went missing. And she just assumed her daughter like lost them at school or something. So this woman goes and she buys a pair of like rain boots, like children rain boots. She sets them up as a decoy to see if anybody will follow them. In the video, you see one of her neighbors and she's looking in the direction of that abandoned apartment. While she's looking at the direction, the shoes on the floor randomly move on their own. She went to go ask her neighbor, like, why'd you step out of your apartment? What did you hear? What'd you see?
What'd she say?
She said she heard babies crying out of the apartment that's abandoned, where all the baby shoes were found. And to this day, this woman, Jasmine, and everybody that lives in that apartment
say that this was real.
Say that this is real, and they don't know why it happened.
Bro, I'm leaving the whole complex.
You have to.
Like,
you have to.
That is f***ing insane, bro.
Hey, do y'all remember Brian Johnson, that creepy tech billionaire that was taking the blood from his young son to try to make him live longer? You know, that one that spends $2 million a year on treatments to live longer? Well, he was diagnosed with a rare, incurable autoimmune disease where his stomach is eating itself. And this diagnosis apparently only affects 2 out of 5% of people in the whole world. You can take from this any bit of information you want, but the fact that someone who spends $2 million a year, takes 51 pills each morning, and regular plasma transmissions taken from his teenage son, and who regularly refers to his medical team because he is an entire team of doctors trying to make him live longer, while most people in the United States and all over the world can't even afford to go to the doctor once. You know, this guy admits that he's doing this kind of thing, and I remember Ambrosia Medical, which was a startup founded by this weird doctor that charged individuals $8,000 to $10,000 to inject older adults with blood plasma harvested from young donors. You know, the monsters do everything to try to live longer, but I guess in this case, the blood of the young is not something that could save you.
Okay, this is blowing my mind. So there's this new Mandela effect people are noticing in Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, the Gene Wilder one. Not this one. In the scene where Charlie is gifted a Wonka candy from his grandpa, do you recall what that candy actually is? If you're like me and anyone else, you'd guess it was a Wonka bar, as Charlie and his family are hoping he opens it to reveal a golden ticket, which, spoiler alert, it's not. But if you take a closer look at it, you see that it's actually not even a Wonka bar at all. It looks to be a moon pie. Actually, it's called a Whipple Scrumptious Fudge Mellow Delight. Now, this is sending the internet into a craze because everyone is remembering it as a Wonka bar. And I thought so too, as I thought the only Wonka item that contained the golden tickets were Wonka bars, Wonka chocolate bars to be exact. So why is Charlie opening up a fudge mellow and his whole family is hoping that there's a golden ticket inside? Now, just to clarify, don't get it confused with this scene where Grandpa Joe secretly gifts Charlie an actual Wonka bar late one night with money that was supposed to be for tobacco, which is a completely different scene. Now, several people dusted off their old VHS copies of Willy Wonka to double check and shared their results on social media. Like this account here who broke out her VHS tape and the newer DVD release. When she played the DVD version, it was a fudge mellow. But then when she played the VHS copy, it was also a fudge mellow. So apparently it's always been a fudge mellow. But there's people who swear that they remember it being a chocolate bar, which I thought so too. Yeah, I'm guessing CERN might have run another Hadron Collider experiment or something.
Now I stand on this, y'all. This is one hill for Mandela. This is a fight for Mandela. This is one hill for the Mandela effect that I will stand on. He opened up that chocolate bar. I don't remember if he pieced it apart and handed them pieces or he handed the chocolate bar around and they all ate some of that chocolate. I know damn well it wasn't a moon pie, a oatmeal cream pie, whatever that freaking piece of chocolate was. It was a Wonka bar, and I'm willing to stand on that hill. I'm not going to say the D word because I don't like saying that, putting that in the atmosphere, but I'm willing to stand on top of this hill and fight for this because he gave them chocolate, y'all. What do you guys think? Do you remember a chocolate bar, or am I tripping? Let me know down below.
I'd rather see the kids go back to making rap videos with guns in them than streaming. If you don't have somebody at the top financing your streams, then you're a stewhead. You got to do stupid. You have to turn a backflip and knock over your whole table. Everything is drama filled with no substance, right? Everybody outside the major streamers has no substance.
Yeah.
So when you look at it, you either do something stupid,
Yeah.
foolish, insulting, disrespectful. So it's not about being comical, funny, or entertaining.
Right.
Now all the streamers doing is either getting drunk, arguing, fighting, and it's taking the life out of it.
You know, that's all by design, y'all. Like we can say, you know, they're just popular because they're celebrities. Like there's a lot of celebrities probably streaming right now that aren't getting the type of streams that Adrian Broner's getting. He's on a path of destruction, drinking so much where he's choking. They walk in and he's having sex with a woman on stream. Young ones are the ones watching this, right? They pop up on my shorts. You know what I mean? They're kind of funny. But at the end of the day, if you want to make it to that level and pull out $1 million, he's a millionaire already making $1 million a month. You got to do that type of destruction to yourself, y'all. They're not going to put out someone positive that's making a difference. And for one, the people don't want to see it. If I went out there and went on the mountain and hiked and talked life with you guys and gave you some life advice and gave you guys some how to start a YouTube channel, it's going to get 30 views if I'm lucky. People like negativity, unfortunately, and that's no gig on you guys.
My friends like to make fun of me for this, but sometimes I just kind of spend time going through, looking around Google Earth to see, see what our world has to offer. Like, for example, try to zoom into any spot in the UK, and you're going to find farmland. Basically, there's just nothing left of UK wild. So I'm looking at Iceland, right, and I'm like, I like to see kind of where people live in these bodies of land. So we have a couple cities, and I'm following this road that goes through a couple cities, and then suddenly it looks like it goes down into like a tunnel. And I was looking around on the island to try and find where it comes up. So I opened up Google Maps to see what, what happens at this tunnel. And you can follow, if you, street view in here, you can click through and it just gets dark and scary. Check this out, man. This tunnel rolls across and then goes under the water to go around to this other peninsula here. I mean, this stuff is so cool. This is why I poke around on Google Earth, because yeah, it comes out here. I think that's so cool, man.
They always show you in the movies. I always say that. So when it comes to movies, it's propaganda. Okay, CIA is involved. The DoD has a film department called the Entertainment Media Fund at the Pentagon. They work closely with Hollywood, with script writers, producers, to depict things, that take things out of movies or put into movies. So they use media, movies, music, and we'll touch on, what's going on with, the podcast sector and all that, because all that has been infiltrated by the FBI and CIA for sure.
Yes.
Okay, so
a guy named Richard Doty, and Richard Doty was a person who would take information to all of the news, every news outlet, deliberately giving them false information. The guy looking at Richard Doty. Yeah.
And you're going back to the movie Fly Me to the Moon, they're showing you without telling you, right? So they were taping a fake version while still trying to get to the moon for real.
When my kids were young, I had an Apocalypse truck built. Right. That Toyota Land Cruiser I got, I need a bug out truck. like a truck where I could store a lot of shit in it and it could literally drive over a mountain. That's what I need. I need a car that's not just a road car.
Right.
I need a car that occasionally shit might go sideways and you got to get the fuck out of here and you got to drive through the desert.
Wow. And and I've left LA multiple times to make that drive, not in an apocalypse car, but because of fires, because of riots. Like sometimes you just got to get out of Dodge.
Ask enough people who grew up in Appalachia, and eventually you'll hear them. The rules. They vary slightly depending on location, but many remain remarkably consistent. Don't whistle at night. Don't answer voices calling your name. Don't follow strange lights. Don't investigate screams. Don't stare too long into the tree line. And if the forest suddenly becomes silent, leave immediately.
I've had crazy interactions with people. In Kennedy assassination, my favorite, I was 17 years old. This is at the original archives when the first files were released. But I'm in an elevator with my father. There's this guy, dirty as you could ever imagine, which looked like oil, and he had paint all over him. He starts up a conversation. He's like, you guys here for Kennedy assassination? I've been needing to look into something ever since I was at the monastery, where nobody is allowed to talk, just eating bread and water. And then we got this one guy who no one was allowed to even like approach. He's always in his monk garb with like a hoodie on. But one day I accidentally bumped into him. And sure enough, it was Lee Harvey Oswald. Oh, okay. And I said, what year was this? And he's like, 1988. And I said, you know that they exhumed him in 1983. So he couldn't have been him in 1988. So we get out of the elevator. He doesn't get out on the floor with a file. Just waits for the elevator to close and he goes straight down.
But North Korea is literally right there, guys. North Korea is right behind me. It's crazy that there's no lights there. This whole city here on the China side is fully lit up. And the side on the North Korea side has no lights. Even the end of the bridge, the lights stop, and there's all these trucks shipping things from North Korea all the way into China, which is super interesting.
I have to tell you that the intelligence communities, the powerful people in this world, have the capabilities to do this, to perpetrate such a hoax. They can do it. They have methods and ways to make us believe damn near anything they want to. But I will tell you this, the only question is whether extraterrestrials are real or not. There is no question whatsoever about the craft. The craft are real. They've been seen by millions of people all over the world, credible people, military people, doctors, lawyers, bag ladies, elevator repairmen, people who work in grocery stores, heads of colleges, politicians, Jimmy Carter, Ronald Reagan, and many others. Now, Jimmy Carter said he saw a UFO before he was elected president. Now, if he's not credible, why did you elect him? If we can send a man to the gas chamber or the electric chair on the testimony of two witnesses in court, why won't you believe millions of people who are telling you that they have seen these craft flying in the air, that they're metal, that they are intelligently guided, that they are real, and that they demonstrate a technology beyond anything that we know of publicly anyway? I can tell you that we have this technology in the United States. It is being flown in an area called Area 51, Groom Dry Lake, in the Nevada test range in the state of Nevada. I have seen it fly. Many other people have seen it fly. I have a photograph of it in my book. I also have a drawing given to me by one of the people who have been there and touched it and seen it. The drawing matches the craft in flight exactly. I'm also going to show you a videotape of another craft, what they call a cigar-shaped craft, above the test site here in just a few moments.
For anyone that's not old enough to know this, TVs used to have static electricity force fields around them, and they would smell like electromagnetic dust, if that makes sense. It would smell like you would get close to the TV and it would fuzz you. It would give you a nice massage over your fingertips. You'd press your face on the TV and it would lift the microscopic hairs off of your face and you would hear a soft hum. And it was like a massage, dude. It was so calming. And honestly, like, I'm pretty sure it was horrible for us. Like, can you imagine, like, microwaving your face against the TV, whatever that was? Like, I don't even know, bro, but I heard somebody say that the TVs used to have fur. That's what it was like. It was like it literally had, like, invisible electromagnetic fur vibrating around the TV as you're like, dude, I would like treat my TV like a crystal ball, bro. It was crazy. I want one.
I've been in fentanyl labs, and that's even worse, because there you can actually feel your body starting to like warm up. We were in an enclosed fentanyl lab in Sinaloa, Mexico, actually using like hazmat suits and masks. Meanwhile, these guys have like, you know, like a bandana around their face, and they're touching the powder. And he's telling me, I was like, how do you know when it's ready? And he's saying, because I can feel it. My heart starts beating really fast, and that's when I know the fentanyl is ready. It's insane. You should watch that episode.
Oh,
It's
that's
actually
crazy.
Really crazy.
And that was last season?
That was actually season 1.
What are the possibilities that what we've learned in MK Ultra, now that it has advanced so much to algorithms and the computer and getting to loners, that some of these loners could, through this just mass propagation of whatever you're doing, could cause someone to maybe take a shot at a president?
I know there's a lot of speculation out there about the Butler shooting, and I guess even the Charlie Kirk shooting. I just hate to speculate because I don't know. I have no firsthand knowledge whether those guys were programmed through radio waves or through their computer activity. So I would never hazard a guess, except to say what I've already said, that they developed means that we've never been told about many, many years ago, and I imagine they've evolved to be much more effective now. So
Let me
anything's
interrupt you
possible.
one more time, and I apologize again. But don't you think that they could cast this broad net through these algorithms and other things, and maybe they don't know the exact person it's going to affect, but they know what type of person it's going to affect, and they know it's going to happen, and that way they can't predict when it's going to happen, but they think it will happen, and then that way they can sort of wash their hands of this whole thing and say, well, we didn't have anything to do with it, but in effect they really did, because they put this out there, and they continue to put it out there through whatever method you're talking about. Go ahead, guys. I'm sorry. Ma'am, if you want to jump in.
She's with NIH.
Okay. Doctor, go ahead.
It sounds to me like you're describing something like the Martin Luther King assassination. The FBI didn't carry it out, but it created such a climate, just denouncing King as the most dangerous man in America and putting out all this material about how he was helping communists, that they must have thought, it's going to filter down. Somebody will take action, and then we can say we didn't have anything to do with it.
And James Earl Ray was a third-rate thief. He made an incredible shot, 1 foot on a commode, 1 foot in a bathtub, leaning out of a window, basically. And the next day, or that afternoon, all the shrubbery was cut in front of the flop house he was staying in. There's a lot on that one that will never be discussed. I have some friends that were there, so I guess I'm on pretty close to firsthand knowledge. But yeah, I'm sorry. I'm probably going to get audited when I walk out of the room. I know it.
Jeffrey Epstein had a caboose on Zorro Ranch, but in the last few years, it's gone missing. This is a highly suspicious rabbit hole that I really think needs to be looked into by authorities. So if you've gone through any of the Epstein files, you've probably seen this caboose. This is an image of the caboose in Jeffrey Epstein's notorious birthday book. And if you go through the photos found in the Epstein files, you can see lots of images taken of and inside of this train car. Like this image right here, which appears to show 2 Epstein survivors out front of the caboose, and this image of the caboose found elsewhere in the files. But I think this image says a lot. As you can see, this caboose, this old train car, was out in the middle of nowhere, literally on the border, the very edge of Epstein's Zorro Ranch property. Why was it so far away from everything else? Why is it in such a desolate area? I mean, this is a place at the end of the day where people were coming and going to and from. This is a location that people were being brought to and photographed in front of. So why is it so far away from everything else on the property? Now, interestingly, the original poster of the video that I found about this created this map, and you can see this is kind of a breakdown of the Zorro Ranch property. The main house was up there, and then way at the tippy top almost, there was the caboose. And I don't know how to properly express this to people, but unless you've been there like I have, you don't really understand how far away these points are from each other. But the caboose was extremely far from the house. And it's interesting because the caboose seemed to sit right on the border of the state land and Epstein's property. I've seen some sources claim that it was on Epstein's land, some sources say it was on state land, but regardless, the caboose was there. Epstein purposefully had it brought to the land and installed there, and the real reason why has never been fully explained. Now, interestingly, I believe this is an image found in the Epstein files from within the caboose itself. The area seemed to have been set up for visitation. There appears to be a table and chairs in the caboose, but this is kind of the only photo I could find of what is allegedly the interior. I don't know who these people are that are in the image, but here's where things get really interesting. So, according to actual maps provided by the New Mexican government, we can see that the caboose was present on property in 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022. But then suspiciously in 2023, somewhere in March of that year, the caboose vanishes. The caboose was removed at some point before the property was sold to the new owners, meaning that Epstein's estate still had control of the property, I believe, when the caboose was removed. But to have this thing brought out to the ranch, Epstein had to use a crane, contractors, it was a whole process. But there's no mention of this thing being removed at all. And to my knowledge, it was never searched by authorities. So why was it removed? Where is it now? Has it been searched? This caboose could have had damning evidence inside of it, and yet it's nowhere to be found. Follow along for more updates.
Vito, he's a statistical genius.
Best tax man ever.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, he was like a brainiac.
He did all of our taxes.
We went on tour one year and did really well. And he's like, go get a new truck right now, like 50, 60 grand at least, because you need it as a tax write-off. Since Bam had a film company, he parked the truck in a scene of Ming Hags and wrote it off as a film prop.
I mean, he was very, very good. He read that book from cover to cover, and he always knew it.
And it's all legal.
That's what I was saying in yesterday's video, y'all. If you guys got your own business, I'm like, I'm sure you already do. I'm just late to the game, but get yourself a good tax guy. Because I lost a lot of money out there in El Paso because I had a terrible tax lady, right? I already paid this year's taxes off of my first quarter payment that I paid her. 5 figures, y'all. I paid her, right? I go see this tax guy. I don't owe no, all the rest of this money here is profit. I'm probably going to keep a little bit of money just in case. You know what he told me? Go buy you a new truck. Go buy you a new truck or a new vehicle, right? You shouldn't be driving a 2007 Toyota 4Runner. Go buy a new car. I went and bought one, y'all. It's going to be a write-off. It's crazy, y'all. Find the right tax guy. And I know I want to start reading these books so I got some knowledge in what I can do. Because you got good knowledge from somebody, but it's always best to get your own knowledge. You guys can ask me all the questions you want about how to start a YouTube channel. I can't tell you nothing. You're going to have to learn it on your own. Now, I give advice, but you're going to have to learn it on your own. I learned all this on my own, y'all. All this YouTube. Not only learning how to do things, how to work Streamlabs, how to edit on CapCut, but I also learned how to do things by watching the greats, right? I studied them without even realizing I was studying them. I just used to watch them. But anyways, y'all, hope you guys enjoyed today's video. You made it this far. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. You know, over here is going to pop up my playlist. Over here, I did a video yesterday on my second channel. Y'all make sure you guys go over there and show some love. It was Americans moving abroad. You guys love those type of videos. That's what I did over there. You'll make sure you guys go over there and run the numbers up. We need to get going over there. And on my third channel, I want to start doing something. I don't know if I want to sit here and just talk to you guys and do kind of like a 30, 45 hour long podcast about different topics, you know, maybe some things happening in politics and the news or just talking about life, things like that on my third channel. I might start doing that. So I got to figure it out because, you know, I like to do things like over here. I'm stuck in this bubble, y'all. I'm stuck in the conspiracy bubble. I can't do nothing else but this over here. You guys won't like it. My second channel, I'm still doing TikToks, but it's stuff I like watching. It's fun, right? And people like it. But on my third channel, I think I just want that to be my thing when I have time. Go on there, do an hour podcast with you guys. Just sit here like here and just chit chat with people and just talk. You know, maybe you guys can leave comments and questions and I can answer questions, things like that about life. Y'all, I've been through mental health. You know, I was, to my opinion, a loner in school, right? I got a little bullied. You know what I mean? I've been through it all. Divorce, you know, I've done it all, y'all. So if you guys got questions like that, maybe we can, you know, help out some life problems. I quit drinking alcohol. I'm trying to quit eating junk food. You know what I mean? So, you know, life is always a learning game, and I can give you guys my opinion on how I got through everything and got to the point where I'm at now, doing what I'm doing, making 6 figures on YouTube. Anyways, I'm gonna get out of here, y'all. I'm gonna see you guys on the next one. Later.